Hey guys, Smitty here with Just Piddlin Barbecue. In today's video we're going to be doing reverse seared duck breasts, and we're going to be utilizing the Yoder Smoker YS640S pellet smoker. Stay tuned. Alright, so today as far as seasoning goes, we're going to be using Cattleman Grill's Trail Dust. It's more of a steak rub, but this is kind of how you're going to treat these duck breasts, more like a steak. The first thing we're going to do is I want to kind of put some crosshatch marks on this skin. The skin has a lot of fat in it, and I want to go ahead while the duck breasts are cold and go ahead and score them. That way at the end when we start searing, we can render out some of that fat. These are Culver duck breasts from Wild Fork Foods. Check them out. They're not sponsored or anything, but I really like what I've gotten from them so far. So now let's go ahead and score them. And this is a pretty heavy knife, so I'm pretty much just letting the knife do the work. Not really pressing down very much because I don't want to get into the meat. Just want to lightly score it so that it helps render that fat. Just like that. Alright, now that we have them scored, we're going to season them up. Again, we're using Cattleman Grill's Trail Dust. Pretty coarse. And we're just going to press that in. Let's get this other one. Now to start off the cook, we're going to be getting some smoke on these at first. So we're going to start off at 150 degrees on a pellet smoker. Now I know that's a pretty low temperature, but we want to try to get these to no more than 130 degrees when we finish them. So to be able to get some smoke on them, we're going to have to start them out really low. Now if your pellet grill doesn't go as low as 150, go to the lowest setting that you can get. You're just going to have to really keep an eye on them, make sure they don't go over. Luckily I've got a Yoder YS640 and we can cook at 150 degrees. So we're going to start out at 150. We're going to try to go for at least an hour to get good smoke on them, but we don't want to go over about 100 degrees, 105 degrees maybe. And then we're going to take them off, crank it up, and get these seared off. So right now it's heating up to 150 degrees. Let's go ahead and get these on. I'll show you how we're going to set that up. All right, we're out here at the YS640S pellet smoker. It is set on 150 and it is right at 150 degrees. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slide that damper all the way toward the firebox to try to keep the heat on this side, because I'm going to put my duck breasts on the chimney side. So let me slide that over. All right, we've got that slid all the way over. And so I'm going to put my duck breasts skin side down because I want to protect that meat from the heat. And we're going to put them right by the smokestack so that that smoke goes right over them and out the smokestack. We'll see you back in about an hour. All right, these duck breasts are right at 100 degrees, 105 degrees. It only took about 45 minutes. We've been running at 150 degrees the whole time, but they've got some really good color and smoke on them. So now we're going to take them off. I'm going to put them in a cold cast iron skillet, remove the heat baffle, crank this thing up to 600 degrees, and then we're going to sear them off in the cast iron skillet. Nice smoky color on them. Now this is a cold skillet. You want a cold skillet because if it's a hot skillet, you're going to sear that skin and it's going to keep the fat from rendering. We want that fat to render, so we're going to put it in a cold skillet and then raise it up in temperature. Let that fat render out. Now let's remove the top shelf. We're going to remove this heat baffle. Slide this right back. And now we're going to crank the temperature up to 600 degrees. And then we're going to start searing these off. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is open this damper back up about halfway because we don't need it closed all the way now. Now we're fixing to start searing again. The yoder's on 600 degrees. I've got the heat baffle off. And I'm going to put the cast iron right over the top of it. And let's start rendering down some of that fat. So it's been going about 5 minutes and now you can see the fat that's rendered. So now we're going to start basting these duck breasts with their own fat. And I wish you guys could smell this duck fat rendering out. That is absolutely amazing. And again, this is one of the benefits of having a yoder versus another pellet smoker, is the ability to cook in ways that you can't normally cook with a regular pellet grill. Let's do a temperature check, because we don't want to go over 130. We're still okay down there. 105, depending on the spot you hit. That one's a little hotter right there. And spin them around. Move this one on this side. Get that one. I'm going to turn this one over now a little bit. Look at the crispiness right there. Ooh, baby. Baste this one a little more. This one right here is a little thicker, so you have to pay attention to that. One might cook a little faster than the other. 120. So still got a little ways to go. I'm going to go ahead and flip this one as well. Let it start cooking on that side. Alright guys, we are at 132 on that one, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it, and almost there on that one. I'm going to let that one go a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one, let it rest. Give this one about another maybe minute, and then we'll pull it off. Alright, we're at temperature with this one too, so we're going to take that one off. Now we're going to let those rest, and in the meantime we're going to utilize this duck fat by cooking some vegetables. I have some onions, carrots, rutabaga, and sweet potato, all cut up kind of in a small dice, and we're going to cook those in this duck fat. I'm going to season it with a little Cajun two-step. Alright guys, I'm going to have to do a little bit of a voiceover. I apologize, but my mic wasn't on when we recorded the last two scenes here. But we're slicing into this duck breast. The skin was super crispy, a lot of juice. I might have went just a tad over on the cook, but it was still pretty good, probably a medium, I would say. But man, I was super satisfied with the cook and how that fat rendered out of the skin. And those are beautiful duck breasts. All right, so now we're going to plate up the duck breasts. We're just going to put them on top of our roasted vegetables. And man, those roasted vegetables turned out fantastic in that hot skillet with the duck fat that had been rendered out of the breast. Turned out really good. And now I just wanted to give a little glaze right over the top. And we're using the Hardcore Carnivore burnt ends sauce. Just giving it a little bit of drizzle. It's got a little bit of spice to it, a little bit of sweetness, and it turned out to be really good on top of that duck breast. But now it's time for a taste test, and I was very anxious to see how this turned out, and I was not disappointed. That was some of the most tender meat that I've ever had in my life. More tender than any filet mignon I've ever had. Brandy even said that she preferred it over any steak or pork tenderloin that I've ever cooked. Very, very tender. It has a unique flavor, but the tenderness, the juiciness was really unmatched as far as anything that I've cooked. It's probably one of the best cooks that I've done in a long time. Really enjoyed this cook. We cooked from 150 degrees all the way up to 600 degrees on that Yoder. It performed fantastic. And I would suggest that if you can get your hands on a couple of duck breasts, reverse sear them, cook some vegetables in the duck fat that renders out, and enjoy it. Till next time, we'll be piddling.